Okay, today I've got a new Kimber to show you. You've probably seen it a billion times if you read the gun mags. There it is there on the top of the magazine, the Super Carry Kimber. The particular one that I've got here to show you is the Super Carry Pro, which is the 4-inch model if you're familiar with Kimbers. Comes in a handy-dandy plastic case that if you're like me, you'll never use again. It's a pretty nice looking piece. There it is there. Give you a good look at it. It's got their round butt so it doesn't print, which is pretty sweet. It's got the new Kimber Tac Pro magazine, which I hadn't seen before, which is, I'm liking the looks of it. It's got a flat base plate. It's an 8-rounder, but it fits flush. It comes with 2 different pads that you can put on there, a really long one for like competition use and a shorter one for if you wanted to use it for carry. Or of course the flush one with a round butt makes sense. The follower is not going to jump forward and peck on your frame. I think if you've seen my other reviews on Kimbers, you've heard me talk about that, so I won't go into that. So this mag looks real good. So far this gun has run good with this mag, but it's had some malfunctions with Wilson Combat, but it's not completely through its break-in period, whatever you want to say about that, but it's been pretty good. It's very accurate. Let's take a closer look at it. Okay, there it is there. It's got these kind of fish scale scallops, which I like because they're grippy one way and smooth the other. It's got them on the top, which is kind of a cool custom-like feature. There's a close-up of that round butt. It's got those fish scale scallops, or whatever you want to call them, on the mainspring housing here. And it's got your typical Kimber features. It's got the ambidextrous safety lever. And I really like the Kimber mount. It's very elegant, I think, the way it mounts on the pin, and you don't have that little tab going underneath the grips. That's like a little touch that I think is pretty cool with Kimber, one of the things that they do. It has a little different hammer than what we've seen on other Kimbers. It's got some serious grooves on there if you want to cock it by hand, and it's black. Shaped a little bit differently. I don't know if I like that. That's for everybody to decide. But it's definitely not a deal breaker. You can see that the slide to frame fit here is very tight, very minimal movement. Of course, Kimbers are known for their tightness there, so that's kind of to be expected, especially at this price point. But there it is there. It's a beautiful pistol. It's got an aluminum frame, so it's lightweight. It's got a solid trigger, you've probably noticed. I think they're just doing that because everybody has, guns with multiple holes in them that's been around for years. So something a little bit different, add a little bit of coolness to it, make it look a little bit different from the crowd. Here's a closer look at the frame. Oops, sorry about that. It's got a nicely polished feed ramp right here, and it looks pretty good. It's got nice colored grips. I like those. There's that round butt again. The magazine wells beveled a little bit there to help you get your mags in. So there's the frame. Okay, we've got the typical Kimber bull barrel. No bushing. So you can see the difference. Here's a standard barrel. You can see the difference in diameters there at the muzzle. So this is going to add a little bit of weight but keep the muzzle down, and you don't need a bushing, so that, that you got to factor that in. But there's the difference there. Here's a look at the slide. It's free of machine marks. Looks good in there. It's got the Meprolite night sights. These are the brightest sights that I've seen. brighter than the Novax or any of the other ones, so I really like these Mepro lights. And there's your spring guide rod assembly with special tool, the paper clip, to get it apart. One thing if you buy one of these to watch out for, and I've had this happen, is this reverse plug starts getting pinned along this, along this lip, and it'll start to hang up in there, but you can get those from Kimber. So I recommend that if you've got one of these guys. It's also got a little cut here in the hood, so you can peer in there and see if it's loaded. I prefer a press check myself rather than relying on that. It's kind of hard to see unless you've got some bright casings on your ammo. While looking at the slide, one thing to note about it is it has this nice Kimpro finish. It's what they call it. Spray on it looks like it's blued, which is really cool. But if you look on the wear surfaces, it seems to be wearing off rather quickly. If you can see it in there, because this guy doesn't have that many rounds through it yet. Something's nicked it or rubbed it there. So I think this finish is going to be pretty thin, but we'll have to see how it wears. Okay, while I'm looking at this, the Super Carry here, one thing to note is it does not have the typical Kimber firing pin safety. This is a straight 1911 ignition system the way John Browning designed it. So if you're looking for a gun, if you don't like those, this would be the guy in the Kimber line. I don't know if there's any other models that don't have it. I'm not sure about that. But this does not have the 2 after it. So that's interesting. Typically, Kimber will have like the Super Carry Pro 2, the 2 indicating the safety, and this is just a Super Carry Pro. So that is interesting. I kind of like that idea, but I've never had a problem with the Kimber firing pin safety anyway, because it doesn't affect the trigger pull. Here's a closer look at that magazine, the Kimpro Tactical Magazine. You can see how the follower is built there, that it's not going to dive or move forward under recoil and peck the aluminum frames. So I like that more controlled follower. It's stainless steel. It looks really nice. It does have a floor plate that you can get off to get in there and replace the spring or clean it out. The feed lips, pretty standard fare. They look like they'll release the cartridge. You'd have to compare it to other magazines, but anyway, this is a viable magazine, I think. Looks pretty good. Because I've never been a fan of Kimber magazines, but I think maybe with this one, they're getting it right. Okay, let's check the trigger pull a couple times here and see what it comes out at. Okay, there's a 4.94. There's a 5.2. There's a 411. We'll do it one more time. And there's a 5 even, so we had a 5.2 and some high 4s. The average is 4.14. So that's not half bad. The trigger pull was not that good when before it had been fired. It's improved a lot with firing. It'll probably get a little bit better. So it's got a pretty good trigger pull now. So all in all, this is a pretty nice piece if you're looking for a carry gun or just something fun. As far as the round butt goes, feeling in your hand, it makes the grip feel smaller, but it doesn't affect the way it handles, in my opinion, with my hand. Of course, that's, your mileage may vary depending on, just the size of your hand and what you like. But this seems to be a pretty nice example of a Kimber. But it's at the top of their line, so it should be. Thanks for watching.